Hello, folks. This is Wager Detective, May 24th, 2026, and am I excited to break down this game for you, the Wager Detective Report. Follow Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And thank you to all my fans out there, present and future. I love all you guys, sincerely. Let's get into this cap. The Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Toronto Blue Jays, and let's get into this cap. The Pittsburgh Pirates this year, 26-26 on the year, 3-7 in their last 10, 13-13 in road games, 6-6 in one-run games, and they're 6-5 in interleague action. The Pirates are now 3-8 in their last 11 versus the Blue Jays, 7 over and 4 under in those games, 2.90 runs per game for the Pirates to 4.91 for the Blue Jays over the last 11 meetings. That comes out to 7.81 runs per game. Last 5 at the Blue Jays, the Pirates are 1-4. So the Pirates 1-4 last 5 at the Blue Jays, but again, the split is leaning 4 over, 1 under. That 7.5 that's set today in those last 5 meetings at Toronto. 3.8 runs per game to 4.4 runs per game for the Blue Jays. Comes out to 8.2 runs per game average. So Pirates not looking good versus the Blue Jays' last 11, and they're only 1-4 in their last 5 at Toronto. But both those, the last 11 overall meetings and the last 5 at Toronto are coming in over that 7.5 on average. Okay, so the Pirates road day games this year, they're 6-6, 5 over, 7 under. They're scoring 4.25 runs per game to 4.33. Comes out to 8.58 runs per game average. So, 6-6 road day games for the Pirate, 5 over, 7 under. But it's still the average of all those games combined is coming out to 8.58. In those road day games for the Pirates this year, they've scored 5+ runs 5 times, and their opponents have also scored 5+ runs 5 times. Now, last 9 games for the Pirates, they are 3-6. They've been shut out twice in their last 9 games. In the last 9 games where the Pirates are 3-6 overall, 5 over and 4 under. They're scoring 4.33 runs per game to 5.22 runs per game for their opponents in the last 9 between the last 9 Pirates opponents. So last 9 Pirates 3-6, 5 over, 4 under. They're scoring 4.33 runs per game, and their opponents are scoring 5.22. That comes out to 9.55 runs per game average over those last 9. And the Pirates' opponents have scored 5+ runs 6 times in their last 9 games. So that's pretty impressive that you still are scoring 4.33 runs per game, and you've been shut out 2 times in the last 9. Something to think about as Wager Detective is pondering that over 7.5 that's up there today. Now, every cap is going to have a situational split, and this is no different. The Wager Detective Report. This is the last game of a road trip for the Pirates before heading home with no rest in between. In that situation, they are 2-6 in their last 8, 3 over, 5 under. They're scoring 3.87 runs per game to 4.12. Comes out to 8 runs per game average. But in that split, the Pirates have scored 3 or less 5 times, and their opponents have scored 4+ 7 times. So it's going to matter whether this game gets over, whether the Pirates can get a few runs on the board by against Dylan Cease. So situational split. This is the last game of a road trip before heading home with no rest. Pirates are 2-6 in their last 8 in that situation. So all these situations right here are definitely leaning towards the Blue Jays as we get into the cap, and we look at this here. We said Pirates not looking good. 3-7 last 10, 13-13 on the road, 6-6 in road day games. But I think the thing that stands out, they're 3-8 in the last 11 versus Toronto. Do we expect regression to the progression here? They're 1-4 last 5 at Toronto. Are we expecting regression to the progression here? Those are things you want to think about when you're capping a game. And as I said, the over is looking appealing even with Keller and Cease on the mound today. So let's get into the pitching matchup here. Mitch Keller is going to be on the mound. And the Pirates are 3-2 in his last 5 starts, 4 over, 1 under in those games. The Pirates have lost the last 2 Keller outings. So in the last 5 for Keller, 29.1 innings pitched, 23 hits, 16 earned runs, 7 walks, 22 Ks, and only 3 home runs. That comes out to a 4.91 ERA, a 1.02 WHIP, and he's only striking out 6.75 batters per 9 over his last 5 outings. Now, on the year, the Pirates are 5-5 when Mitch Keller starts. He does have a 1.21 WHIP on the year, and he's only given up 4 home runs in 58.1 innings pitched. So he's not giving up a lot of home runs. The problem is, in his last 3 games, he's giving up a home run apiece in each of his last 3 outings. But over the course of the year, he's only given up 4 home runs in 58.1 innings pitched. So that's a pretty good sign, right? Pretty good sign that kind of makes you put the brakes on and over unless you're stringing along hits. But if you look at it, in his last 5, he does have a 4.91 ERA. And when the home runs start happening, even though he's only given up 4 in the whole year in 58.1 innings pitched, they have happened. There's been 1 home run given up by Keller in each of his last 3 outings. So something you want to keep in mind on when you're betting this game. Now, if we look at Keller, okay, he's going to be on 4 days rest here, and the Pirates are 2-3 in Keller's last 5 starts before the All-Star break on 4 days rest. So the last 5 times that Keller has pitched on 4 days rest before the All-Star break, the Pirates are 2-3 in those games. And in those games, all of those games except 1 have gone under. So 1 over and 4 under. And the 1 over was his last outing this year, where he lost 2-8. The Pirates lost 2-8 in that game. But the other games, 2-3, 2-3, 5-0, and 2-1. And they've only won 1, and only 1's going over in Keller's last 5 starts on 4 days rest before the All-Star break. So something to keep in mind there. And in that split, Keller's pitched 25 innings, only given up 20 hits, only 6 earned runs, 3 walks. Oh, excuse me, scratch that. 31 innings pitched, 23 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, and only 1 home run. That's pretty good. He seems to do good on 4 days rest. That comes out to a 1.74 ERA and a minuscule 0.87 WHIP. And he's only given up 1 home run in his last 5 outings on 4 days rest and 31 innings pitched. The question is, does he come back to form? Does he find his form here? You've given up a home run in the last 3 games. That is something that could push the game over. If it reverts back to the other way, you don't really have a high whip, and you're expecting a team like Toronto to string hits together to drive in runs instead of driving them out of the park. So it makes taking the over a little tough. But let's get into the rest of this cap, and we're going to go to the Blue Jay side of things. The Blue Jays 25-27 on the year, 7-3 in their last 10 games, 15-11 at home, 6-8 in interleague games, and they're only 5-10 in one-run games. So the Pirates are 6-6 in one-run games, as we mentioned, but the Blue Jays 5-10 in one-run games. Games get close, sticky. They just don't know how to win those games where it's decided by a run or less. Okay, Blue Jays home day games this year. They are 8-4, 6 over, 6 under. In their 12 home day games this year, they've scored 5.08 runs per game to 3.66 for their opponent. That comes out to an 8.74 runs per game average. Their last 9, Blue Jays playing good. They've won 4 straight, and they're 6-3 in their last 9, 3 over and 6 under. They're scoring 3.66 runs per game to 2.44 for their opponent. That comes in at 6.10 runs per game average over their last 9. Their opponents have scored 2 runs or less 6 times in their last 9 games. Right there brings me back to the under, right? Brings me back to the under. If we were 6.10 over the Blue Jays last 9, and then but here's the thing, you look at the Pirates last 9, and you're looking at a 9.55. If we add those together, we're coming out with right on 9.55 plus 6.10, we're coming out to, we add those up, divided by 2, we're coming right out to what the book has set up, which is a sharp line on that over-under. Now, if we look, the situational split for the Blue Jays is going to be a home-to-home series with no rest. And in that situation, this is another one for the Blue Jays to be called here. The Blue Jays are 7-2 in their last 9 home-to-home in the last game of a series where they're going to have no rest going into the next series. So the last game of a series, with the future being, the look-ahead being no rest with a new team coming to town, staying at home, they are 7-2 in their last 9 in that split. 3 over and 6 under. Their opponents have scored 2 runs or less 5 times in that 9-game split. They're scoring they're scoring exactly 5 runs a game to 4.11 runs per game for their opponent. That combined score is coming out to that over 7.5. In that split this year on home to home, the last game of the series with no rest coming up, they're 2-1. They lost 1-6, won 4-2, and won 5-2. All 3 of those games have gone under. Now, does it stay that way? In the last 9 in that split, it's been 3 over, 6 under. Does that stay that way? Both teams not hitting good. We looked at what they do when they do play in. These teams play against each other. Last 9 meetings, 7.81 runs per game. Last 5 at meetings at the Blue Jays comes in at 8.2. It's hovering. And all you need is 1 or 2 dead innings that can really push this game under. So keep that in mind. All right, Cease. Last 5 games, last 5 outings, the Blue Jays are 3-2, 3 over, 2 under. The wins came against Tampa Bay, the Angels, and Minnesota. Losses came against the Yankees and Red Sox. I don't think that the Pirates have a lineup like the Yankees or Red Sox. So furthermore leads me, and you beat Tampa Bay. I think Minnesota's got a better lineup. And the Angels, for what it's worth, by the end of the year, I believe Minnesota and the Angels will have a better record and a better hitting than what the Pirates have. They got some young talent over there, but they're just not a hitting team, especially right now. What did we say? They are, in their last 9 games, they are scoring 4.33 runs per game, and that's being shut out twice. So that gives me pause for concern with the under. And like I said, Keller throwing a home run apiece in his last 3 games. All you need is a little bit of bases on ball action and a couple hits, and before you know it, 1 goes out, and that 7.5 is looking very frail. So in Cease's last 5 outings, 31.6 innings pitched, 26 hits, 13 earned runs, 11 walks, 40 strikeouts. He's only given up 3 home runs in his last 5 outings, which isn't really that great. But in Cease's last 5 outings, 3.70 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, only giving up 0.85 home runs per 9, and he's striking out 11.39 batters per 9 over his last 5 outings. Now, the Blue Jays are 6-4 on the year when Cease starts. 5 over, 5 under. 4.4 runs per game to 3.6 for their opponents. Comes out to an even 8 runs per game average. He's only given up 3 home runs this year, Dylan Cease, in 57.1 innings pitched. And 2 of those home runs were in his last game versus the Yankees. So here's the situation as this cap has come to a close. Does one of these guys or both of these guys give up a home run? Even if there's nobody on base, that's 2 runs. All you need is 6 more runs throughout the rest of the game. We said that Cease has a 3.70 ERA in his last 5 outings. Keller's got a 4.91 ERA in his last 5 outings. I don't think either one of these teams got bullpens where we need to be scared of. So all we need these guys is to do is to be a 2-2 game heading into the bullpen action. And wager detective, as much as, you got one pitcher that's given up 3 home runs in his last 3 outings in Keller. You got a guy in Cease that only given up 3 home runs on the year, but 2 of those came in his last outing. When those home runs start to happen, you start to wonder, is there more there? These guys have given up a combined 5 home runs in their last 5 outings. Three for actually 6 home runs. Well, no. 5 home runs at the very least. Keller's given up a home run apiece in each of his last 3 outings, and then Dylan Cease, the can of worms was opened on that against the Yankees, gave up two home runs. But I don't know if you could necessarily look at the Yankees lineup compared to the Pirates. But Pirates do got some guys in that lineup to hit home runs, man, if you leave something up. I don't think 7.5 is too much to ask, even with these 2 good pitchers on the mound. Going to be in a dome. There's going to be no rain. I think we can get there. Now, could it be a 3-3 game and it goes to extra innings? Even if it's 3-3 goes to extra innings, you get a run in the top, run in the bottom. I'm going to call the over here. I'm going to call the over 7.5. Wager Detective is going to call that, even with the fact that the only thing that stands out where this game could look like an under is that in the Pirates' last 9 games, they're 6-3, and they're only scoring 3.66 runs per game, and they're giving up 2.44. But the Pirates, though, you cannot knock it. They've scored 4.33 runs per game in their last 9 games, and that's with them being shut out twice. So that's something to keep in mind in there. And then road day games, they're scoring 4.25 runs per game. Blue Jays are scoring 5.08. I think we get there. I think we could see a 5-4 game, a 5-3 game. I think we get over the 6-2 game. I think we get over that number. So that's going to be the call here. Wager Detective, for the value aspect of this play, is calling the over 7.5 here on May 24th, 2026, between the Pirates and Blue Jays. Over 7.5. And if I had to lean aside, I think all the metrics are leaning towards the fact that everything was leaning towards the Blue Jays, and then Cease is coming off a loss at the Yankees in his last game. I think he gets back on track here. The history dictates it, so that's Wager Detective's call. Take the Blue Jays and take the over 7.5. Split them up, parlay them. Hopefully you hit both. If not, you still come away with some kind of profit, hopefully. So that's Wager Detective. Thank you for tuning in. Follow Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And remember, more than anything, guys, Wager Detective loves all his fans, present and future. And I'm reporting live from Tropicana. You guys ever want to come down here and meet me? I can tell you where all the great spots are, and I'm just excited that I live in this market and being a professional sports capper. This is Wager Detective. I'll talk to you soon.